Reality television has been capturing the attention of TV watchers since it became globally popular in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Because they're showcasing the lives of real people rather than script-following actors, we get to see into the lives of some rather unsavory individuals. And in some cases, people can even become hated for their actions. So let's talk about them in this list that I've compiled who I personally think are the top 10 most hated reality TV contestants of all time. It's hard to choose a top 10, but here is my list. Coming up first on my list is Jenelle Evans, who was on Teen Mom. While she was pregnant with her baby in 2010, she was arrested and charged with illegal substance possession and had admitted to smoking while pregnant with her baby. She's been in and out of trouble for the same charges over the years, even as early as 2013. A lot of people really hated her for her rather controversial parenting, choosing oftentimes her boyfriend over her child. She's also got quite the temper and has been in several fights. One time she even punched her former best friend in the face after she got her flirting with her boyfriend, and she was arrested a week later for violence towards a separate person. She's also got the highlight reel of throwing a glass at her ex's new girlfriend and tons of altercations with her boyfriend himself. Even more recently, in the past few years, she's made quite the name for herself on TikTok, but not in the good way. Her new husband has stated that he hates gay people. On top of that, he made headlines because he killed the family dog because of aggression, which, by the way, usually that means that the dog isn't trained well enough. I think there's room for pity though, just a little bit. She's been in some really harmful relationships and may not think that she deserves any better, but I don't know. Who am I to judge? Next on the list is Omarosa Manigault. Omarosa worked alongside Donald Trump while on The Celebrity Apprentice. She was well known for her rude and mean-spirited attitude towards others while on the show. A TV Guide poll showed that 50% of people who watched the show indicated that Omarosa was the reality star that they hated the most. She constantly fought with other contestants about little things and was generally just unliked. She also caused a stir while off camera for filing a lawsuit against her fellow contestant, LaToya Jackson, accusing her of her fiance's death. And also the whole working for Trump thing, who is very obviously a controversial ex-president, so couple that with a massive ego and you get a pretty unlikable person. Who knew? Next up is Abishek Chatterjee, or as most of us know him, Shake from Love is Blind Season 2. We watched Shake tear down what many consider to be the hero of that season, Deepti Patty, who by constantly nitpicking her looks. He spoke behind her back about how he wasn't attracted to her and felt lukewarm about marrying the woman he supposedly felt a connection to within the pods. While we saw Deepti struggle with her insecurities of her looks, Shake only served to further tank her feelings of self-worth. Despite all that, he still went to the altar and was going to marry Deepti, but thankfully she chose herself and decided not to marry the man who basically bullied her. Despite himself being Indian, he stated that he wasn't attracted to Indian girls and that he cares more for looks than most people. Nowadays, he's pretty well unliked, and when he posted his new girlfriend recently, Twitter was armed and ready with a few snide jokes towards the reality contestant. Next on the list is Jonathan Baker from The Amazing Race. While on The Amazing Race, Jonathan became known for one thing and one thing only: his temper. He was genuinely like just a garbage person, constantly picking fights with anyone and anything. His anger ran so deep that he would even pick fights with his wife, Victoria Fuller. In one instance, she was carrying his backpack so that it wouldn't get stolen, which caused them to finish in second place. He was so enraged at her that he shoved his own wife in an altercation that quickly turned physical. While people certainly didn't like him before that instance, they definitely didn't like him after that. Thankfully for Victoria, however, she would end up divorcing that pig later in life. Next on the list is Aaryn Gries, a Big Brother contestant. She's known for making the game way too personal, and her mean girl attitude turned a lot of people away from her. She got into multiple fights with other contestants, and then when she made some snide, racist comments towards her fellow Asian and Black contestants, it basically sealed the deal. She made quite a few controversial statements that just overall made America think she had a pretty ugly personality. And even in the house, her bad attitude made her extremely disliked. In fact, Aaryn's comments even had real-world implications when she made main story newscasts, which normally doesn't happen for reality contestants. She even lost her job for racism, so definitely be careful what you say when the whole world is watching. Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore is next on the list. At first, Mike was really only known for constantly flashing his abs, making him the butt of the joke for some time. And while I know people love the situation because he's certainly the flashiest, a lot of other members of Jersey Shore started to turn on him. It got to the point of violent fights, and it was pretty much well understood that all he cared about was causing drama for everyone else. That being said, I kind of like him. He's pretty funny, and it's not like the Jersey Shore guys are the cream of the crop either. Next up is Spencer Pratt from The Hills. The Hills is a classic reality television show that took off when Lauren Conrad began living with Heidi Montag. The two were really close friends until Heidi began dating Spencer Pratt. He absolutely did not get along with the other contestants in the show, partially because he cheated on Heidi a bunch and didn't treat her well at all. Eventually, Spencer's presence became so contentious in the show that it cost Heidi and Lauren their friendship, when Lauren expressed just how much she doesn't like Pratt. And then, to make matters much worse, Spencer reportedly leaked Lauren's adult videotape to the public, causing Lauren's relationship with Heidi to be forever severed. In a television poll about disliked reality TV contestants, Spencer Pratt topped the list as the most hated contestant in history. Next is Jon Gosselin from the reality television show Jon and Kate + 8. He got his stardom from becoming an overwhelmed father of 8 children. But while both parents were pretty unliked by audiences, when they got divorced, people started to choose sides. During the rough divorce that obviously was really hard on their children, Jon made headlines for partying with young girls and completely blinged out so cheesily in Ed Hardy clothing and accessories. He basically put his family to the curb now that him and his wife were separated. Years later, it was also revealed by Kate that Jon hasn't seen his kids in years. So yeah, I wouldn't really be the biggest fan of his either. Second to first on the list is Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms. Abby Lee Miller has been in tons of trouble with viewers for being extremely short-tempered and unprofessional while she taught young girls how to dance. That being said, despite attempting to teach kids how to dance for competitions, people really didn't like Abby Lee Miller because of her mean and unnecessary comments towards the mothers and sometimes the kids themselves. She's a tyrannical ruler, and if she wasn't happy with the performance, her method of correction is rather brutal and unkind towards the kids. A lot of people wonder why mothers even let their kids near Abby. Tons of people who appeared on the show filed lawsuits for emotional damage and in some cases physical harm, with the accusation that Abby was particularly cruel to ham it up for viewers on the show. She was also in prison for fraud after hiding the profits she made from masterclasses, TV deals, and merch sales. She's also been accused of racism and treating black girls differently from white ones, calling them ghetto or urban. While I guess not technically a reality television contestant, kind of like Jon and Jon and Kate + 8, I do think that Josh Duggar is so hated that it's hard not to take the cake for this one. In the reality television show 19 Kids and Counting, they chronicle the life of the Duggars, who are Mormons that basically have a crap ton of kids. But then a massive expose revealed just how demented and deranged Josh Duggar really is. It was revealed that Josh had behaved extremely inappropriately, like, you know, R-wording towards underage young girls, including his own sister. And then, to make matters worse, it turned out that he also cheated on his wife when the Ashley Madison scandal leaked a bunch of information about men who wanted to have affairs, Josh being one of them. But what's wild about this is that he got away basically scot-free, only being sent to a recovery center because I guess Mormons don't get divorced. Horrifying person. Anyways guys, that's all for my list today. Let me know if I missed anyone or if there's anyone you thought I should have added. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm Sierra, see you next time.